Alright gamers, Stellar Blade is here and it is not holding your hand. This game has some challenging enemies and bosses, and we here at Direct Gaming got the perfect guide for you on how to defeat Maelstrom. Let's not waste any more time. As with all our guides, we're going to cover the following: how to prep for the boss, including moves and skills that we brought to the boss fight, attacks and abilities the boss will throw at you and how to deal with each one of them, and finally a full unedited run of the fight sped up a tad. Now this will be the first boss fight where you don't have access to your sword abilities and only can use your new railgun. So in terms of the updates I recommend for you to focus on for this particular fight, if you have not spent your tokens already, are the following: Stinger missiles for dealing with groups of enemies as the boss will summon them to protect itself, enhanced slugs for extra damage from your main blaster, and slug magazine expansion 1. If you can get it 2, absolutely go for it. These are going to help you deal more damage during the stagger phase to the boss. The other moves don't really do too much damage to the boss, so you don't really need to waste your skills points at this particular time. With that being said, it's time to take on the boss itself now. Now when it comes to the boss fight itself, let's go over the moves the boss is going to throw at you and how to best avoid and counter them. This fight is not like your normal boss fight since you only have your railgun to use, so you need to get used to entering into the third-person viewpoint with the weapon and then hitting the circle button to dodge when enemies get close to you or the boss throws a move at you. Now, to get the big question answered and out of the way right now, let's go over what is the best weapon ammo to use against the boss and the enemies that spawn. It's no surprise, regular slug rounds. This is why I recommend upgrading those particular parts of the skill tree. Since the enemies drop ammo for you, it's going to be pretty easy to replenish your weapon and deal more damage. Now during the fight, I did try using the Stinger missiles, but they do not allow you to lock onto the 4 yellow spots on the boss, aka this is how you stagger the boss, so you could be using the missiles on smaller enemies if you want to, but I find there's a much easier solution which we're going to go over in just a second. Right from the start, the boss loves to throw a volley of goo orbs at you, like on screen. These are pretty easy to dodge, especially if you're sticking to the back of the room. However, do make sure to at least hit the dodge button, because if you're simply just standing there, some of them will hit you, especially in the later stage of the boss fight. One of the boss's unblockable moves is actually a laser that will fire at you, so watch out when it lowers its head and the beam fires upwards. Another slow but damaging move that you can avoid or shoot down are these 3 giant goo balls that will travel towards you. Sometimes it can get a little hectic in the second half of the fight, especially with all the enemies around, so do keep in mind that you can't shoot these down really fast or just dodge out of the way. Now the key to this fight is to actually hit the 4 glowing yellow spots on the boss's face to then stagger and deal damage to it. So make sure you have full ammo for the slugs when this happens. Taking out each spot on the face will actually stop some of the boss's moves that it can use. So for example, if you take out the bottom spot, the boss won't be able to fire its laser move anymore. Now in terms of the enemies that it summons, when the boss actually summons these enemies to help in the fight, do not waste your ammo on the enemies that start to crawl towards you. If you simply run up to them and then dodge, they will actually explode, dropping ammo for you, and you don't need to waste any of your ammo. Again, if you want to use some Stinger missiles, go ahead, but overall, I find just simply running up to them, dodging, and moving on. Once you've staggered the boss, just unleash everything that you have in your main arsenal, and boom, half its health will most likely be gone. Speaking of which, when you get the boss to about half of its health, the enemies it spawns will increase, while the moves it throws at you will simply speed up. The only new move is this shockwave-like attack. However, it doesn't actually damage you. What it does is it actually detonates the enemies if you leave them alive, and that can actually damage you. So if you leave a bunch of those enemies around and all of a sudden it detonates them, boom, you're gonna be taking a lot of damage. Other than that though, this boss fight really isn't that tough. Just keep an eye on your ammo and don't waste your slug rounds on the small enemies. Hit the 4 points again on the boss's face, staggering him, and finally finish it off with a volley of fire to get that second hypercore. Now, here's a full run of the boss fight sped up a tad to show you how to take down Maelstrom. As always, learn the attacks and patterns. It's okay if it takes you a couple of tries, but this is definitely one of the easier fights compared to the other ones. If you enjoy the guides and the like on the video shows us that you enjoy this type of content, and don't forget to check out our other Stellar Blade guides and content, along with our other videos in the top right corner and pinned comment. Thanks for watching the video. I've been Tallen with Direct Gaming. I hope you have a great day and week, and I can't wait to see you all in the next one. Johnny.